It is the Positively Petland Show. Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on Iowa City's news and sports station. We're talking about cats this morning. Feral cats, stray cats, domesticated cats, cats,
cool cats.
cool cats, cats. And Ron has adoptable cats at the store, buyable cats.
Yeah.
Plenty of great
Another kind of
things.
cat.
Lots of different cats, but it has to be the right union, meaning that, cats are adaptable, right? And we're adaptable, but let's put it this way. I've seen it happen, especially on the dog side, the canine side, that sometimes things just don't mesh.
You're right. A lot of that, though, is misunderstanding. And isn't this human? I think
you already saw me chuckling as soon as
the psychology is coming out. But some of it is also training. And why that just came to my brain, the way you said it, had a customer come in yesterday and said, this puppy isn't working out. They've had it for 2 weeks. And I said, what's happening? And they said, it's biting. It's a puppy.
Puppy.
Right. And I think a lot of people out there just went, well, that's what dogs do. But there's a lot of people just now that said, yeah, that's why I don't have a dog. They bite, kind of thing. Well, as a puppy, and sometimes, they chew throughout their lives. So this could be true for an adult. They're chewing for multiple reasons. One is getting your attention. One is getting their way. I've trained you. If I bite you just a little nip right here, I'm going to get your attention and I'm going to go forward and all that. All sorts of reasons why. Why bring that out? Some people don't understand that and then give up. And my thing is reach out for help. Here, the premise of why Wendy and I own Petland of Iowa City is because our first dog was an adoption dog, and it was right on its way to going to the pound. And the person, it's a longer story than this, but said, you either going to take it or I'm going in, kind of a threat. And we said, take it. And we realized that we didn't know, especially the behaviors of Callie. She barked very well. Didn't know that on the front end. She also pottied in the house really well. And so we had to learn that and adapt to it. And we had to reach out. We didn't find any resources. Our veterinarian was our incredibly great resource. And that's how we learned. And I just, as an engineer, went, this can get we can improve upon this. Let's get the message out. And so when we discovered Petland was the previous owner wanted to move on, we were like, send me, kind of a thing. And so that's when we signed up for that premise of, yeah, that's a difficult. Sometimes you misunderstand, don't know about the training, aren't strong enough on the training. You need coaching on, all these different things. So a cat, sometimes it's just a training issue that you need to get over. It's not we don't get along, kind of a thing. And, in relationships, we've learned that too. The more we give and take, the better the relationship becomes. Isn't that right, Jerry?
The reason that I laughed was I recently rewatched a movie that I haven't seen in a long time. Have you ever seen Bull Durham?
I don't even remember it.
Yeah, long time ago. And all it takes is that one friend that gives you a little bit of confidence, that gives you the little bit of, that the next stepping stone that then gets you going and you move forward and then you move forward. And then you move forward. And all it takes is that one. And so your counselors do a great job of that is when customers come in and they're lost and they're just all frantic, the first thing that I ever say, now we're being completely psychological on this. First thing I ever say to a friend when they're in the mode where they're just absolutely spastic, take a breath.
Yeah.
Just take a deep breath in, calm down. Everything's going to be okay. And that's what your counselors do with people that come into the store.
Right. That's exactly. What are you thinking?
We're talking about cats. Let's get into the feline mode.
So a little bit of the history of cats. How long ago do you think the cat was domesticated? And this is
domesticated.
Domesticated, yes.
Oh, I would probably go back to in the U.S. or
no, in the world.
1400s. No, that's way too early. 1600s.
I think a little more. What in a desert area? What are
1800s?
What are massive? I mean, massive
1900s.
I don't even know if there's cement or sand or whatever.
Century.
And I think they're known as a sphinx.
All right. Oh,
help! Yeah, I gave you a little help there.
So you're going back ancient times. I mean, BC.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the point in a fun way.
I was going the other way, and you wanted to pull me back even.
Yes.
I got you. So I mean, what? I don't even know.
They're guessing
2000 BC.
4,000.
Yeah. Whatever.
So a long time ago. So they were ancient Egyptians. That's the earliest documentation and all that kind of stuff of cats as pets.
Wow.
And they did a little bit more than pets because they're the Sphinx, those big, huge, what do you call them? Statues, but they're massive. They like the cat, kind of a thing. So they go back that long. Do cats really have 9 lives?
Some would say yes.
Yeah. And I think it's
other cats would say absolutely not.
No.
Well, they wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Yeah. So obviously they don't have 9 lives, but they have this canny, whatever how you say it, a way of getting out of trouble. And anybody that has a cat knows that in their house. You're like, how did you just avert that? They'll be upside down falling and then on their feet. And you're like, how did that happen? Kind of a thing. So they just they're very agile. They're very swift and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of comes from that. What do you think they have tied the first purebred, I believe is what they're saying here, to? What do you think that first purebred was?
I don't know. Cats.
So purebreds is a human thing. I've never thought of that this way. Purebreds are a human thing.
An epiphany on a Sunday morning.
Nature always makes the homogeneous.
Heirloom.
America is a mixing pot, and we will become more of a mixed breed, mixing pot, as we go forward. So we have taken traits of different animals and made what we call a purebred. So what do you think they have documented the purebred of cats to be? The first one.
I'm thinking along the lines of a cheetah.
Well, that would be wild.
Okay, so
yeah, that's interesting because that would be a purebred. So my theory is not quite working out right now.
All right, what is it?
But it's a Siamese cat.
Okay.
Yeah, they go back. Thailand is where they have that pegged to. And then finally, the just a little bit about cats. I know we're kind of meandering here. Do cats have feelings?
Of course they do.
Yes. Well, we joke that they don't, that they just look at you, and because they don't have, like dogs don't have, and I know we're not going off on that tangent, but they don't have facial expressions. They have unbelievable eyes, both cats and dogs, and you can read what they're thinking in those eyes. We think that we can.
Do you know when I'm most mad? We're being very psychological this morning, and this is actually a fun conversation for me. Do you know when I'm the most mad? Can you tell when I'm the most mad? You've known me for a long time. It's when I'm quiet.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. When I walk in the studio and off air, you go quiet. I go, oh no.
I'm sorry about that. I don't mean that's a bad host trait.
I just try to add levity.
Yeah, thank you. And so getting back to cats. So Siamese is the originator.
Yes, of the purebred. That's what we're thinking. Yeah. This stuff happened so long ago. Everybody's conjecturing, and next week we'll go into a cave and discover something else. So writing on the wall and go, oh well, hey, that goes back a little further now. So, but that's what we know at this time. So, what's it like having a cat? You did have a cat at one point. I thought when you grew up. When you were growing up, I had
a roommate that had a cat when I was about 20 years old, and we lived over at 627 First Avenue in Iowa City, and he got it from maybe a friend that was moving. I think a friend graduated and said, I don't want the cat anymore. And we named it Peppermint Patty because he was a Charlie Brown fan. And so we named it Princess Pee-Pee.
Peppermint Patty. Lucy would have been. Lucy would be a cat.
Yep.
That character.
100%. And Pee-Pee was as well.
And Pee-Pee. So how did it get that name?
He was a fan of Charlie Brown, and he used to play the piano, and he always used to play the piano Charlie Brown theme. Da 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 da. You know? And so he was a fan, and so he goes, and I said, "Oh, it's Peppermint Patty," and he goes, "Yep, that name's gonna stick." So I actually named the cat.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else, like it had a potty accident.
Nope.
Pee-Pee.
Peppermint Patty.
Oh, I love that even more. Wow.
Yep. So it was Princess Pee-Pee.
Now I got it. I think I missed it on that first run. All right. So having a cat, and I told you my front story of, you know, my first impression of a cat was that that it got taken, a bunny got taken away by a cat, and that wasn't a good first impression of a cat.
No.
And so it took me all the way to getting married. And, you know, when you get married, things are chaotic and all that kind of stuff. And we said, you know, let's put off the children, you know, having children for a little bit.
Mine was pretty calm for the first 10 years.
Mine, we said we were just too immature. To bring a child into this life, we just said that just wouldn't be right. And so we actually, but in retrospect, we did bring children into this world before we took on a pet, which is kind of funny because we must have felt we needed to be even more mature to have a pet. And a cat was that first pet. And it was through my wife, Wendy, that I got introduced. And it was on the way home from work. I get a call, and it's Wendy. And she says, "Hey, there's a new addition to the family. I just want to let you know." And so it was, I did know a little bit about what was happening. There was a family that collects animals, and
That's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah, they had a lot of animals is what it ended up. And they had to downsize the house. It was for good reason. They were actually remodeling and stuff. But so it's a funny story. So the husband comes home to a single wide trailer, their temporary home, and he opens the door. And so this family has 4 kids, and then multiple dogs, multiple cats. Opens the door. A cat runs sprinting by with its tail on fire. Opens the door from work, you know.
This is something.
Honey, what's going on here?
This is something out of a movie.
And so he goes, "Honey, we gotta decrease this family right now, and it's not going to be the kids." And so we got the call because our kids were going over there and playing with the kids and playing with the pets. And our kids kept on going to a cat named Gilbert already at that point, and they would lift it up and it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't bite, it wouldn't squirm or anything. And they would walk around with it that way. And so they had said, "Boy, that would be a nice addition to our family." And I would do the father's silent thing and not say anything and all that. So on my way,
the Gilbert became a part of the Souls Roots family.
And then did the right thing. I walked into the house, and, you know, I still had a little bit of the whole "I'm not into cat" thing, you know, going on. And so I sit down, and I think I was playing with Andrew, and Gilbert came waltzing right over. He was 8 months old at that point, came waltzing right over, plopped into my lap, and just looked right up into my eyes. And you go, "Son of a beehive." I go, "I guess we got a cat." And they were like, "Yay." So there is the beginning of Gilbert in our house.
So how do you tie this all together with what Petland is doing today with cats?
So it's just always finding the right. Okay. So getting back to the beginning of our show where, you know, you had just made mention that, you know, it doesn't always work out. And how do you match the right pet with the right family? You do the best you can. We have ways in our store just by getting them out, letting you interact with them, playing with them. Today's not the day. Okay, fine. You know, if you want to come back tomorrow, the next 5 days, you know, kind of the thing. Play with them, check them out, get them over time, make sure it's the right thing. But in Gilbert's situation, case in point, there were many pitfalls that we fell into. You know, whatever it would have been, he was very bitey at the beginning. He was a kitten. He was only 8 months old. Cats have that thing where for about the first 1.5 to 2 years of their life, they tend to chew on things. Chewed the zipper off of my brand new favorite ski coat.
Oh, geez.
Not a happy day when that happened. And I still have the jacket in commemoration.
Did he survive the punt out the back door?
No. I mean, yes. No, wait. How do you answer that question?
You don't.
I went right into it. No, there was no punting going on. But here, the whole cat on the counter thing. Yeah. That was a little, and you know what? I fought that for a long time. And then finally went, we don't freely say get up on the counter. Right. But
it's curious.
Yeah, wants to see things and all that kind of a thing. In fact, if there's a window open, like and the window is right with the sink or something or on the counter, they just want to get up there and sniff.
Right.
And so they're just getting on the counter to do that. So it's finding other things to get them not to go up there.
We only have a few more minutes, but the reason I inhaled is you mentioned somebody that comes in 1 day, 2 day, 5 days, trying to get linked up with that pet. You also have a situation I'm sure that you have faced where somebody comes in on that 5th day and
gets it.
No, you didn't know where I was going. On the 4th day, that pet isn't there anymore.
That's what I meant, is somebody else. Okay. I didn't say it correctly. Yes. Yeah. We do struggle with that. When Wendy and I bought the store, we were brand new to, we're still learning and all that kind of stuff. And one of our pet counselors was working with a customer, and you're hawking everything when you're brand new, and how's everybody doing and all that. And there was a pet counselor that was working with somebody, in this case with a dog, and said, dog, it's the right fit for you. You've been searching. This is a long process. You need to get the dog. And then the customer had a response to that, and the counselor came back and says, no, you don't get it. This dog might not be here tomorrow. Well, I took that pet counselor to the back.
Really?
And I said, don't pressure our customers. Don't do that.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
You know what that pet counselor did back? Pointed right back at me and said, you don't get it. I am working in the best interest of our customer, and you just don't get it. You're brand new. And I went, all right, I'll back off. I'll listen. So I did and watched, and I have seen many grown men cry. And in a rare situation, literally as they were walking in to get the dog, the dog was walking out with the new owner that got him before that person could.
So let me start to put a small cap on this. You're a retail store. There's a sales aspect to it. There's a sales aspect to it. But when it does come to those personal aspects of it, when it does come to the fact that this is going to become your family member, I see both sides of it. I see it as a manager going, oh gosh, don't pressure. That's not what we're about, going sell, 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 sell. From the salesperson's aspect, because I was in retail, it's also very personal that you're getting. You're getting to know that customer. You're getting to see that bond and that relationship. Asking that closing question or proposing that closing question. Heck, I was a realtor for 7 years. You have to ask. You have to. And so you try to avoid those situations the best that you can, but then hopefully it works out for the best.
Talk about the joy of sending a pet home with a family. So what I did for over 20 years was engineering. The last half of it, I was in technical sales. It was the whole value added. You're bringing me in, and I engineer with you in your production plan, and I make things run much more efficiently and all that kind of stuff. That's what you get when you get my product, kind of thing. So it was a value added. I got a lot of satisfaction on doing that selling. I really love working with people, educating them and all that kind of stuff. There is nothing. The first puppy I sent home with a family, I had the biggest glow in my heart. And here we're 13 years later, I still get the exact same huge glow that I never got when I was a technical sales, doing what I was passionate. I am still passionate about engineering. But sending a pet home and changing that family's life, it is in such a positive way. I just love that. And that's what our employees, they get addicted to that. That is just so much fun and so gratifying.
Yeah, and I would just tag off on that same exact reason that I love doing the show and I love doing radio in Eastern Iowa.
I get it.
This is my 15th out of 20 years. I started in radio in 1998, and here I am still. I love being in front of the microphone. I love that personal connection. Tell us a little bit about Petland of Iowa City.
We're Petland of Iowa City. If you have never been there, come and just visit and play. It's just a nice place to come to. If you have a dog that needs a nail trim, bring the dog, cat, bunny, little whatever rodent you got. We'll do nail trims for $5. No appointments needed. Dogs, cats, just bring your vaccination records in. And then we have all of our cat and dog food on a buy 10 get one free. We track it for you. It's that simple. And yes, we have low prices in our store. So you're getting, because I go back to the manufacturer to get that free one. I go, hey, I handed this bag out. I want a free one from you now. So I don't even have to lump it in or anything. So you get low prices, plus you get the buy 10, get one free. It is that simple. Come in and check us out.
Check them out. Lower Muscatine Road, Iowa City, East Side, the Iowa City Marketplace. Do me a favor. The next time that somebody comes in and gets that free bag, just pull out a hand, go over to, if Ben Franklin isn't there anymore, go over to Joanne's Fabrics, grab some glitter and just throw it straight into their face.
And take a video.
There it is. Ron Solzrud, Petland of Iowa City. Always a pleasure. Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on Iowa City's news and sports station, 800 KXIC and KXIC.com. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.